Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from the basement bunker beneath Kettle Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour of the Greg Belfrage Show. It is great to have you along. Hello to the Bunker Brigade. Some of you, I enjoy watching some of the comments before we actually get started. So good morning to all of you. It's great to have you along. Okay, the dozens of Republicans are demanding that the U.S. Senate take up the SAVE Act, or I think is part of the SAVE Act passed the House of Representatives in April. This is the one that I've talked about a lot on the air. It would require Americans to present proof of citizenship when registering to vote, and then ID, I think, when you actually on the day that you go to vote. And as I mentioned on the radio show this morning, even over at CNN, their pollster, Harry Enton, is saying this is just popular with everybody. Voters everywhere of all stripes love the idea of having to show a voter ID when you go to vote. Voters love this. The issue, of course, is getting Congress to do it. And so the Senate Rules Committee has still made no move to bring the SAVE Act to the floor. More than 30 House Republicans, and in fact, there are some who are quite upset that it was not with the bill that just went through to fund the government and get going again. There were those who wanted to include this as part of that, which I think would have been the right thing to do. Apparently, that did not get done. I don't know why not, but more than 30 House Republicans sent a scathing letter to the chairman demanding action. 48 Republican senators have now co-sponsored the legislation. Representative Chip Roy of Texas says he received commitments from 50 senators to vote for it. But with Senate Democrats saying that the bill is dead on arrival, lawmakers are debating as to whether or not, they got to change this 60 vote threshold. And it just opens up a whole can of worms regarding this. But you've got more and more people who are showing their support for the SAVE Act. A number of stories on this. USA Today's even got an opinion piece. Americans want voter integrity. Why don't Democrats? It's a great question. Why don't? Because they'll never win. They will never. The answer to that is very, very simple. Democrats will never win. That's why they, want to open up the borders. That's why they love illegal people coming into the country. That's why they love giving stuff away. Taking the money from Americans who are hardworking, taking their money and giving it to people who have come into the country illegally. They love that kind of stuff. That's why they don't want voter integrity. That's, and I'm sure that's what the thrust of the piece goes on to talk about. Nicole Russell says, what's the point of having power in Congress if Republicans don't use it to pass legislation that the American people overwhelmingly support? Yeah, she's absolutely spot on about that. So Democrats, of course, don't like it. Senator Schumer is among those standing in way of the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. It's the SAVE Act. He said that it represents Jim Crow segregation laws. It's the same. It's the same old responses from the Democrats when it comes to this stuff. It's the same old thing over and over. So Schumer pushed back on Republicans to add the SAVE Act. Then he said, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The SAVE Act would impose Jim Crow type laws to the entire country, which is, of course, absolute BS. That's an absolute lie. And again, take a look. I mean, when CNN's pollster Harry Enton is telling you that this thing is very, very popular. You know, when you're seeing 83% of voters right now, 83% of voters who favor the SAVE Act, these complaints of Democrats, you know what it's all about. It's the Democrats who do not want to give up power. That's what it's about. And they know that if they are going to require voters to show an ID when they go to vote, they know the Democrat Party is absolutely dead in the water. It will go absolutely nowhere. And that's why they oppose this stuff. Just no argument against it. Schumer said it's a poison pill that will kill any legislation that it's attached to. The SAVE Act is reminiscent of Jim Crow era laws, would expand them to the whole of America. Republicans want to restore Jim Crow. Oh, yes, those racist Republicans, right? Oh, it's these racist Republicans and what they're up to. He said it will not happen. So this story at Fox News says many on social media quickly pointed to Schumer previously calling a Georgia election integrity law Jim Crow 2.0 before the law resulted in record black turnout in the 2022 state election. Absolutely right. Absolutely. Voters love this stuff. It's only Democrats in Washington who worked so hard to try to kill it. It's the Democrats in Washington. Understand that. Trying to see if there's anything else here new. Jason Sneed, who is the Honest Elections Project Executive Director, he said, Chuck Schumer sounds like a broken record. When Georgia passed a new voting law in 2021, Schumer labeled it Jim Crow, even though the state went on to see explosive turnout in 2022. Yeah. And what else is there? I mean, seriously. Oh, gee, the Democrats made a prediction and it's wrong again. Who is surprised? Who is surprised by that? Certainly not me. Schumer smearing the SAVE Act is the same. Schumer is smearing the SAVE Act the same way because he has no legitimate excuse for opposing a law that makes sure only American citizens are voting, which more than 80% of Americans support. Schumer's smears were false then. They are false now. Yeah, absolutely right. So as we talk about the SAVE Act, Elon Musk weighed in on this legislation. He said on X yesterday, it must be done or democracy is dead. He was responding to a post from Glenn Beck. Many of you know Glenn Beck, conservative talk radio host. Glenn Beck said, he was talking about this, the SAVE Act. He said the GOP will save the Republic and rescue the GOP. If they fail, we all fail. 80% of all Americans want this. You need ID for everything except except voting. There is only one reason not to pass this, and we all know what it is. GOP, save the Republic, save the Republican Party from itself, pass the SAVE Act, Glenn Beck said. So then Elon Musk responded to that. He has been a supporter of requiring proof of ID to register to vote. And again, I think the SAVE Act should also require that you show an ID when you go to vote. When you go to vote, you should have to show your ID, not just when you register to vote, when you go to vote. So I won't get a lot of this is just back and forth. Representative Anna Paulina Luna, and I told you about this. She wanted to include the SAVE Act in the funding package to reopen the government. I would have thought that would be the way to go. And House Speaker Mike Johnson said, we all want the SAVE Act, but we look at the reality of the numbers here and we passed the SAVE Act. I want to make sure who is this? Mike Johnson. So he was saying we all want it, but we look at the reality of the numbers here and we passed the SAVE Act twice in the House. We'll pass it again. We'll do that. But this is a funding package right now. And I don't think we need to be playing games with government funding. That's what House Speaker Mike Johnson had said. So it wound up not being included in that funding bill that Congress just recently passed. Now, I shared a portion during the show this morning. The National Prayer Breakfast is underway. And for all I know, President Trump is still speaking. He was going on at length. And I brought you a portion of it during the program this morning. I missed the start of it. And the president joked that he was talking about the National Prayer Breakfast. And he said, this is a beautiful American tradition, and it's a true honor to be back. He said, I think I've been here just about every time. It's hard to turn down. I don't have the courage to turn it down. He said, the last time I came, I got to D.C. at 4 a.m. They said, sir, you're going to be speaking at 7. I said, I'll be there. I'm afraid not to be. I need all the help I can get, Trump said. Then he also earlier in his remarks, would be part that we didn't share with you live this morning. He lamented about how he has to work the phones with about 9 rebellious House Republicans. And Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky, who he called a moron. So he recounted getting calls from House Speaker Mike Johnson in the early morning, asking for his help in dealing with some of these Republican lawmakers. And the president said, what time is it? It's 3 a.m. So we have 9 names giving us difficulty. They want to have a phone call. And he's like, blank. All right, let's go. Here we go. He then mocked his calls with Representative Chip Roy. Talked about how some of the rabble rousers want to have breakfast with him. So he went on about a number of different things. He also touched on what happened in Minnesota, went after Don Lemon. And he said the Department of Justice recently charged 9 individuals for storming a church in Minnesota during a worship service, trampling on Americans' First Amendment rights. I watched that tape, and that was violent. Right in the middle of a church service. It's got to be illegal, he said. He said, I'm not doing it, but Pam Bondi is doing it. And I'll tell you, people are happy with the job that's taking place because they're bad people. They're bad people, Trump said. You have one Trump hater in particular that I just watched. They tried to use freedom of the press and all of this to get out of a criminal event, but that was a horrible thing to witness. And if we allowed that to go on, you wouldn't be able to have a church. Everybody would be afraid to go to church, and we're not going to allow that, are we? President Trump said. So that was some more of the substance that the president offered during the this morning during that speech. But the SAVE Act, I think, continues to be a big story. Okay, I wanted to touch on a couple of issues here with you. And some of this based on questions that I know that some of you had. The it was a couple of days ago that we had some issues. Kello did, KELO radio. We operate on KELO AM 1320. We operate on FM 107.9. We have a translator, FM 105.1 that we operate. So that's how you can hear us on radio. And I want you folks to understand, some of you were asking the other day, well, what's going on? This station is off the air. When I am on the air, even if one station goes down, and it was 107.9, by the way. So FM 107.9 went down. But I've got 2 other stations that are still up. When I am on the air, my job is providing content on the air, not as an engineer. I'm not a radio engineer. So if one of the stations goes down, I don't necessarily know why. I don't care why. I'm concerned about the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'm concerned on, I've got your attention. And so one station may be down, those folks can't hear, but I've got other stations that are still up, and I need to serve those listeners. And that's where my mindset is. I am not technically qualified to handle some of those things. I'm not a radio engineer. I have no idea. We have folks who are. We've got a full-time radio engineer. Al is his first name, and he's terrific. He's just one of the nicest guys. Anytime I go to him with an issue, he's right on top of it. That's his job. So, when one of the stations goes silent, we're aware of it. We get notifications. Even if we're away from the station, we get notified at home. We know when the stations are down. I know a number of you will email and you say, hey, I can't, the station. We're aware. We're always aware of what's going on. We've got backup redundant systems to notify us when stations are off the air. But when I am on the air, when those things happen, I am not in a position to take care of it. There is nothing I can do to correct it. And I just want to make sure that you understand that. Because as I said, one station may be down. I have 2 others that are still up and running, and I have to serve the listeners that are listening on those stations. And that's where my attention and my focus needs to remain. When I am on the air, I am running the show. You may not realize it, but all the, as commercials are airing, all of these different elements, when you hear me play a music element, when you hear me, I am in control of all of that. I am running the board. I am turning the microphones on and off. If I have guests, any music you hear, all of that, that is all me. I am doing that. So I have my hands really full. I mean, seriously, my hands are full. I have had people who watch me when I'm on the air and they go, how do you do all that stuff? And it's just over time. I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing the morning show for 20 years. I've been doing a radio talk show since I think 1997 is when I started doing radio talk. I have been doing talk radio for a long time. And when you're running, for a while under, God bless the current owners of our company, Midwest Communications, because the previous owners of Kello, they didn't want to pay a call screener. And they like me just going to the phones. And you still hear that on occasion. If I am without my call screener, if she gets sick, Alicia is her name. She's great, by the way. She's just terrific. But if she's sick or she's late or whatever, she takes a day off, it's just me, brother. It's just me. So not only am I running the board, answering the phones, so I got to physically select reach over, select a line. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's brain surgery, but it's a lot. So I'm dealing with a lot. And when stations go off, I can't concern myself with that. As I said, first of all, it's not my job. I'm not trying to say, well, it's not my job. I'm just saying, technically, I don't have the expertise to even address it because I have no technical radio expertise to be able to go, okay, well, this is what we need to do to correct this. I have no idea. I'm like anybody else at that point. My job is to handle what's going on in the air. So that's what I do. And I just keep going because even if one station is down, it may be Kello AM and goes down, but FM 107.9 still up. I keep going because I want to serve those listeners. I want to serve the listeners on the stream because the stream will still be up and running. Even if the radio station goes down, the stream is still up. So when I am on the air, I'm always on the air. And I don't worry about anything else about what's going on outside of the actual show and trying to keep it running as smoothly as I can, which is admittedly difficult at times. I also want to invite you to participate in the Sioux Empire Pizza Battle. Go to Kello.com, our website, KELO.com. The Sioux Empire Pizza Battle is underway right now. And if you scroll down our website, for those of you who are, if you're on your phone, you want to look for that banner that I just showed you, the Pizza Battle banner. Otherwise, you can go about halfway down our website at Kello.com. If you're online, if you're on your computer, just look for that same banner, the Pizza Battle banner. Click on that. And then from there, you will see the different restaurants that are participating, which pizza they are offering. For instance, Boss's Pizza, it's the pulled pork pizza. Boston's Pizza has the Avenger. And Charlie's Pizza House has the pizza. So there are a number of them. We want you to, if you're a pizza lover, please go give them a try and vote for your favorites. So it very much, it's kind of a, we have the downtown burger battle that occurs every year in Sioux Falls. And so after the burger battle, this is something that our company thought, and it's all of the stations of Midwest Communications locally. So KTWB and, our other sister stations are all a part of this. And Kello is also. So you can go and you can cast your vote for your favorite and participate in that. And if you're a pizza lover, I think it's something that you'll find to be very, very fun. All right. If you are not a subscriber of mine yet on YouTube, those numbers continue to climb. What am I up to right now? We are up to 573 subscribers. Remember, I begged you to get to 550. Was not all that long ago. Then we hit 560. Now we've hit 570. Now we're on our way to 600. So if you have not yet subscribed to the Greg Belfrage Show on YouTube, please do so. I would very much appreciate it. And I'm going to leave it there for today. You have made it to the end of the video. So you are part of my gallery of champions. A salute to the Bunker Brigade. Those are the folks that are primarily there on YouTube, and they're commenting each and every day. And I love watching their thoughts and interacting. So thank you so much. Until tomorrow, my friend, I'm underground and gone. Got to find my mouse here again. I'm underground and gone.